Well, there are, in the French view, there have been some improvements in the security situation, or at least some successes against the jihadis, but there are still major problems on the ground, and France ideally would want its partners to do more before it can reduce its own troops in any significant way. And, the reality is that the help that France was hoping for has been very slow to materialize. So, for example, the Takuba task force, which is a European structure, that has taken a very long time to take shape. And indeed, the G5 Sahel force itself, which was formally approved in 2017, that has had real difficulty getting off the ground because of a lack of equipment, lack of funding, and not sufficient training. So there have been these problems with the regional structures from the French perspective. But more broadly than that, Delano, I remember a year ago covering the Pau summit of the G5. And at that point, the Malian foreign minister told me what is needed is a major international coalition, the kind of involvement that we saw by the international community against ISIS in Iraq and Syria some years ago. He was saying to me, that is the kind of involvement we need to have now. We need to make sure that the world understands that the stakes are that high in the Sahel. Well, the reality is that hasn't come to pass, and the international community has not been involved to that extent. So it really falls on these regional structures and to France to try to do something.
Armin, today we're going to have the U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken addressing this gathering today by video link, presumably. What can we expect after, 4 years of Donald Trump's America First foreign policy? What can we expect under Joe Biden's presidency now?
Well, the U.S. has a military presence in the Sahel. It's not that well known compared to, say, the U.S. involvement in Iraq or Afghanistan, but it's had more than 1,000 troops in the region. It built a drone base in northern Niger. It's helped with finances, with logistics, and so forth. But then Donald Trump, who notoriously had a very difficult relationship with President Macron, he dropped this political bombshell in late 2019, saying he would start withdrawing U.S. troops from the Sahel. That is currently under review, but the mood music has definitely changed, both in Washington and Paris. We've heard from both capitals that they want to cooperate more closely in the Sahel. So we don't have a final decision yet concerning those U.S. troops in the Sahel and what will become of them. But there's definitely been a change in the dynamic, which, of course, Paris was hoping would happen under a Biden administration.
Armin, thank you very much for